In this video, I'm going to show you how to find mockups as well as how to add them to Canva and then what to do with them on Etsy and then some mockup mistakes that you should be avoiding. Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Bridget. I'm an Etsy print-on-demand seller on a mission to help other Etsy sellers start and scale their business in a stupid easy way. So if you like this type of content, please subscribe, like, hit the bell so you can be notified of the next time I release a new one. So let's get right into Etsy. Okay, so in order to find good mockups, so mockups that will work like in your niches, then what I would do is I will go into the Etsy search and I will look for the niche that I'm in. Or if you don't even know where to begin, like you don't even know the niche or where to even start, you can always start with like women's shirts, women's sweatshirts, anything like that. And then what you'll do is though you'll look at all the mockups that people are using on that first page. Anything that's on the first page is selling. So just take a look at the type of mockups that they're using. Now this one is this model mockup. That's this dark gray. And I'm pretty sure this is for like for moonlit mockups, but I'll show you guys. They have this one. Oh, sorry. And then they also have this, let's see. This is moonlit mockup. It's the comfort color. So you see, you start seeing a pattern of like, they're using the same type of mockups, right? See, there's the same comfort color mockup again. So this should tell you like, okay, all these mockups work. And you see it's like the same type. Then there's this sand one. I think this is like linen smith. But you'll start seeing a pattern of the type of mockups that are working because people uses the same ones. So you'll just scroll and kind of do this. You see, this is the same mockup from above. If you have a niche, let's say you are in the you're in the dog mom, right? So like, let's say, let's find like dog mom sweatshirt, or that's your design, right? So then you'll do the same concept. What type of mockups are you seeing? There's this military green that's been super popular. The one that just kind of like flat lay, folded real nicely. You see how you're seeing a lot of those, like folded real nicely, but then you're seeing like this model mockup with the woman with the pretty hair, you know, that's linen smith. And then there's this one too that's super popular. Same mockup again, same mockup. So you're seeing the same type of similar mockups are being used. So this is where you should start when you don't know, like, oh, there's so many options. Which mockup should I buy? Which one should I use? Start with your niche and look at what type of mockups are the best selling designs using. And that's kind of how we do it. And then when you kind of have an idea of what mockups are working, then you can just search again. So the sweatshirt is the Gildan 18,000, right? And you can literally do Gildan 18,000 mockup, or if you want to go more specific, you're looking for like a white one. You can just say Gildan 18,000 white mockup, and then it will serve you all the different white mockups you could potentially could get. And again, you're looking for, like, for example, this little flat lay that's you saw, you know, when we did the search, that's working really well, and this is a bestseller, so this should tell you that this mockup is working really well. Or we saw a lot of the woman, you know, kind of sitting like very aesthetically, you know those work really well too. This is a bestseller. So this is also how you can gauge it based on what you found from the mockups in the niche that you are selling. And then when you go find that mockup, if you can find bestseller mockups too, do you know those are doing really great? From the designs that we saw, you saw this one laying around a lot. This type of mockup, Simply Mocks, is a really popular mockup place. So what you can do is you can also do like the bundles because you end up saving a lot of money. So just start with like either a bundle, or sometimes the shop will have like buy the whole, spend, you know, this much money and you can buy all the mockups type of thing. So those are also a good buy. So that's how I would do that. Then once I buy the mockup and have the mockup that I want to use, then what I will do is I go into Canva. And then you can, I know the new way that Etsy is doing the thumbnails is the, it's like a 27 by 27 because it's more square now. So then you just create, you know, so then once you do that, then you add the mockup into Canva. You will upload it here, and then what you can do is then you just drag and drop the mockup over, like you just do it like that. drag and drop, drag and drop. That's exactly how you do it. Just drag and drop it there. And then once you come and you add the design and all of that, then you just download it. And I would download it as a JPEG, just because if you do it as a PNG, the file might be too big and it will not possibly like let you upload it on Etsy. And then once you download it, what you'll do is you'll bring it over to Etsy and you will just upload it. Like you'll upload your mockup, and then what you'll do is you'll select which one you want to be like your first one, like your thumbnail one. And then as far as like the thumbnail, you never want to leave it like this, like where it's not zoomed in, because then it's gonna make it like people could barely see the design. You want to always zoom in a little bit into it, so people, or depending on the design, you want to zoom into it because you want people to be able to see the design. Like when they scrolling through Etsy and they're seeing all those different listings, they want to be able to stop and be able to see your design. So I will never leave it just like on the default option. I will always zoomed in, because you want to make sure that they can see the design. And then you'll save it. And then some main things to avoid when you are doing your mockups and when you're adding a design is you need to make sure that you are decreasing opacity. Yes. For example, the design that I just put right here, if I just leave it like this is very unrealistic. A person, like when they get the shirt, it's not going to look this bright, and you're going to get a lot of complaints if you just leave it like this. The way I like to do this is I like to decrease it, especially for whites, because the DTG, the printing gets so sucked into the shirt. I like to go down as far as like 75%. I also make it smaller because it's not going to print. Like if you do that, that's not realistic. It's not going to print that large. It is also taking over like where the hair is. So I try to make it as close to what it will look like. If I also have to like turn it a little bit, you know, just to make it look as close as you possibly can to how the person is going to receive it. So always make sure that you are decreasing the opacity to make it as realistic as possible. Also, for example, for this design, make sure, like another mockup mistake to avoid is think about what colors you're offering your design in. I would say don't do more than 5, because then you give too many options and then people don't know what to get. But also think about your design from the eye of like, are you creating a light design or a dark design? And what I mean by this is, for example, let's say if I go here, so this design obviously is in a black color, so I know I can offer it in like lighter colors like a white, a gray, a sand. But for example, I'm not going to put this design on a black sweatshirt. So if I wanted to design on a black sweatshirt, what I would do is I would just start on like, or if I wanted to design in darker colors, I would start with the black, and then that way I will make this design a lighter color. Same thing. So when you're doing your mockups, make sure that you're putting your designs in mockups that you can see the design. Do not put like a design like for example this Howdy Mama. I will not put this on a black mockup because you're not gonna see the design, you know. So try to think about what color your design is and what colors it will make sense to add it to. So try to do, like, if you're gonna do a darker design, do it in lighter color shirts or sweatshirts. If you're gonna do a lighter design, do it on a darker color shirts and sweatshirts. So that's a big thing. The next thing with mockups is the type of fonts that you're using. If you're using fonts, like for example this Howdy Mama, you can easily, if I put this on Etsy, you can easily read this. So you want to make sure that you're using fonts that are legible, because when people are going through and scrolling on Etsy, they want to make sure they can read it right away. Like I will not use, like, for example, where's this font? Like this font, it is really hard to read. So I wouldn't, especially if I make this like super small, and if I make it like not even like lowercase, you see how hard that is to read. I will not add a design like this. You can kind of see it, but it's really hard to read. So stay away from fonts that are not legible. If you're gonna use script fonts, use script fonts that you can read. Like this, I wouldn't use that. But for example, I will use this one, you know, like this is more like you can actually see what it says. Like, so think about the fonts that you're using and make sure that the person can actually read it. And then the next thing with mockups is making sure that you're not using the Printify mockups, because those are terrible. So do not just go and, for example, in this design, I will not go and just use like this flat lay one that's just white in the background, or I also wouldn't use their model ones because they're not cute. They're very horrendous. And as much as, like, look at that, as much as your design might be nice, the model is not giving the vibe of, you know, what is not matching the design with the whole vibe, and it just doesn't look nice. So again, spend money on your mockups. I know at the beginning it can seem expensive because, you know, you might not have the resources, but this is the thing. If you don't have $5 or $6 to spend on a mockup, then maybe you shouldn't be doing this business, because I'm telling you, the mockups that I've actually spent money on, those are the ones that are making me a lot of money. So do not skim on mockups, because they will make a huge difference whether or not somebody will scroll or they will click on your listing and eventually buy. So I hope that this was helpful. So you made it to the end of this video, and if you're still struggling with putting a whole listing together, from how to find bestsellers, how to create a design, find the SEO, as well as finishing the publishing from Printify and Etsy, then go watch this video next, because I'll go over step by step of how to do this. See you in the next one.